जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तनम की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमपदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. We are reading today from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 10, Prahlad, the best among the exalted devotees. Today we will study the text 25 and 26. So we'll recite once the text 25, which has no purport, and then we'll together recite multiple times the 26th verse. Prasada sumukham drishtva Brahma narharim harim Stutva vagbi pavitrabhi Praha devadibhi vritaha. Translation. Lord Brahma, surrounded by the other demigods, was bright-faced because the Lord was pleased. Thus he offered prayers to the Lord with transcendental words. Text 26. Shri Brahmo Vacha Deva Deva Khiladhyaksha Bhuta Bhavana Purvaja Dishyate Nihata Papo Loka Santapano Suraha. Shri Brahma Vacha Deva Deva Khiladhyaksha Bhuta Bhavana Purvaja Dishyate Nihata Papo Loka Santapano Suraha. Shri Brahma Vacha Deva Deva Khiladhyaksha Bhuta Bhavana Purvaja Dishyate Nihata Papo Loka Santapano Suraha. Vaishnavis? Word to word, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Sri Brahma Uvacha, Lord Brahma said, Deva Deva, O my Lord, Lord of all the demigods, Akhila Adhyaksha, owner of the whole universe, Bhuta Bhavana, O cause of all living entities, Purvaja, O original personality of Godhead, Dishtya, by your example, or because of our good fortune, Te, by you, Nihata, killed, Papaha, most sinful, Lokasantapanaha, giving trouble to the entire universe, Asuraha, the demon Hiranyakashipu. Translation. Lord Brahma said, O Supreme Lord of all Lords, Proprietor of the entire universe, O Benedictor of all living entities, O Original Person, Adi Purusha, because of our good fortune, you have now killed this sinful demon, who was giving trouble to the entire universe. Purport. The word Purvaja is described in Bhagavad Gita 10.8. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate. All the demigods, including Lord Brahma, are manifested from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the original person, the cause of all causes, is Govinda, the Adi Purusham. Hare Krishna. So I seek the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis in order to speak something according to the parampara, for my own purification, for the pleasure of all the Vaishnavas and the Lordships. So this is a very beautiful section of the Srimad Bhagavatam, where through Sri Prahlad Maharaj, the glories of pure devotion service get extolled unlimitedly. And Lord Narsingadev appeared quite long back, but he did not talk to anyone until Prahlad Maharaj. And then when he actually talked to Prahlad Maharaj, then he became pacified. When Prahlad Maharaj offered prayers, loving devotion service, then he got pacified and he got pleased. And here, now Brahmaji takes the chance to again approach the Lord. Brahmaji himself is also a pure devotee of the Lord. In fact, he is our founder Acharya of the Parampara. And here, keeping the principle of in different pastimes, different personalities are by the will of the Lord, the hero. So here Prahlad Maharaj is the hero of the program. And in fact, more than Narsingadev, we hear more Prahlad Maharaj. Because through the devotee, we can actually understand how we should approach the Lord. So after Prahlad Maharaj has actually pacified the Lord, and Lord tells him to do the Anteshti for his father, and apart from that, then he is coronated as the king. Now Brahmaji comes forward that I would like to say something in the glorification of the Lord, because now he can see the Lord is having a sumukham. He is very pleasing to, he is very peaceful. It's coming differently. It's fine. You don't have to see anything. In the end, I will show some things. So in these two verses, it is mentioned how Brahmaji begins his glorification of the Lord. So he uses certain words. Deva Deva. He is saying that you are the Lord of all the demigods. Akhila Adhyaksha, you're the owner of all whole universe. Bhuta Bhavana, you're cause of all living entities. Purvaja, O original personality of Godhead. These are some of the adjectives that are used for glorifying the Supreme Lord by Brahmaji. And the word which is most elaborated by Srila Prabhupada and also Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is Purvaja, which also refers to Adi Purusha, or the person who is the cause of all causes. In fact, the other ones which are mentioned, Deva Deva, that means the Lord is the Lord of all the demigods also. That also, in one sense, he is in the hierarchy, he is above the demigods. So it refers to the similar principle of Paramatattva. And Akhila Adhyaksha also, he is the owner of all the whole universe. And he is also the cause of all living entities. So, in a sense, the supremacy of the Supreme Lord is being extolled here by Brahmaji. So, I like to share something on this word Adi Purusha, and then there are many important nuances of this word Adi Purusha which are valuable for our discussion. So all the great souls, when they offer prayers, two prominent things that they speak as the beginning of the whole thing is they share that Lord is Adi Purush, and then they also mention that he is transcendental to material nature. So these two are very regularly, we'll see. Shri Brahmaji himself, when he is speaking Brahma Samhita, so he says, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami repeatedly. And he begins with that, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So a lot of that Adi Purusha word has a lot of explanation in this one verse, which Brahmaji says that he is Anadi, he has no beginning, and he is Adi, he is the beginning of all, and he is Sarva Karana Karanam, he is the cause of all causes. And when he is saying that, he is also mentioning that he is Vigraha, he is a form, he is a personality, so he is Adi Purush. So he is not just Adi, but he is Purusha. There are many other conceptions of the absolute truth which people carry, which is impersonalistic. But Brahmaji establishes in the Brahma Samhita very clearly that he is a Purusha. So Arjuna also says, Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum. Again, Adi Deva, he is Adi Dev, he is Paramam Purusham. Again, Vyasdev, when he is beginning Srimad Bhagavatam, Janmadhyasya yato anmayaditarataschartheshva vignya swarat. So there he says Janmadhyasya yata. And in fact, that is actually Vedanta Sutra itself. But here he begins with Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So Vasudev is actually that personality. So again, the personality is talked about. And then Satyam Param Dhimahi. I have meditated on that supreme absolute truth. And then Arjun, when he is speaking to Krishna, when in the 7th chapter of the first canto, when Brahmastra is shot by Ashwatthama, there also, that is the first time when actually Krishna appears in the Bhagavatam. And Krishna is appearing in the Bhagavatam and in the Bhagavad Gita as a chariot driver in the beginning. That is his, he likes to be declared as a Bhakta Vatsala, as a servant of his devotees. So both the hero of the whole Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita loves to be declared as a as a servant of his devotees. So in first chapter of Bhagavad Gita also he is coming only as a Sena Ubhayo Madhya, please take the chariot in the middle. And then there Arjuna uses the word Achyuta for the principle of that he never falls from his position of being a loving, he loves his devotees, so he never falls from that position. And here in the 7th chapter also, he is actually chariot driver of Arjun. And there Arjun, when he is in a difficult situation, there again he says, Tam Adya Purusha Sakshad Ishvara Prakrite Para. So Prabhupada writes in that purport very beautifully. Actually, Prabhupada, not in that purport, but in 3 verses later. Because Arjun first, all the Brahmastra is shot. Now Brahmastra is already in the sky, and if some normal arrow is there, then also we'll have a lot of distress. What to talk of Brahmastra? And Arjun is taking out the time to circumambulate the Lord and also offer such prayers. And then he tells his distress. So Prabhupada writes there, anything that is presented before the personality of Godhead should be so done after due presentation of respectful prayers. That is the standard procedure. And Shri Arjun, although an intimate friend of the Lord, is observing this method for general information. So general information is for all of us. He's telling that this is how we should glorify the Lord. Sometimes if we go before the Lord and directly begin with, this is my problem, sir, please help me out. So, but the standard of all prayers across all the Bhagavatas personalities. Jai Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maiya ki jai. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So all the great personalities in the Bhagavatam, this is just the beginning of the Bhagavatam. Arjuna I have mentioned. Then Kunti in the 8th chapter, she says, Namaste Purusham Tvadyam Ishwaram Prakriti Param. Again, same principle. So like this we can go on through the entire Bhagavatam and we'll see these are the two principles which are talked very clearly. You are the Adi Purush and you are Prakriti Param. You are above the Prakriti. So let us try to see what are the important principles which we can appreciate by this two words, Adi Purusha. So first of all, it refers to Adi. The Adi means he is the source of all that be. He is the cause of all causes. So he is the cause of all. He is the source of all the living beings, like here he is mentioning Bhuta Bhavana, and he is also the source of all the universes. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate. So from him all the universes, all the energies are emanating. He is the Sarva Shaktiman. He is not only the cause of all the living entities, but among the living entities, the demigods who are considered the empowered living entities. He is the cause of all of them also. In fact, he is Deva Deva. In this verse also he is mentioning Deva Deva. So he is including Brahma and Mahesh also. So he is the cause of all causes. Not only that, he is also the cause of Paramatma and Brahman. Brahmano hi pratishtaham. I am the cause of Brahman also. And Paramatma also. So Krishna is saying, I am seated in everyone's heart. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto. So he is seated in everyone's heart. So he is expanding as Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. And he is the Paramatma in everyone's heart. He is the Brahman. And Krishna is this. If here Narsimhadev is being glorified, so Narsimhadev is called also as Adi Purusha. But when it comes to Krishna as the reference point, then Krishna is also the source of all the incarnations. Krishna, Ramadi Murtishu Kalani Aminana Tishtan, Nana Avatar Akaroda Bhuvaneshu Kintu, Krishna Swayam Samabhavat Paramapumanyo, Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So first principle which we can learn from that Adi Purusha word is that he is the source of all that be. So that means we are approaching the top man, top personality, Paramatattva. It is also referring to Purusha. So Purusha means a person. So original person has to be personal also. So the conscious being with form, he's not just some, like sometimes people have a understanding of Lord as the energy. Not Lord, they consider the truth as the energy or some jyoti, some light, Sometimes people have very foolish ideas also. They say you will see some light here or something, So many foolish ideas they have. But even if someone has a true conception of God, in that also there is Brahma Jyoti. But that Brahma Jyoti is also emanating from the Supreme Lord. Yasya Prabha Prabhavato Jagatanda Kotim. So the personality is actually the origin. This is of very great value. And that's why Srila Prabhupada would, when he translated Bhagavan, he even gave the word Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's a very unique word which is not there in the entire, It's Prabhupada's coined terminology to help people not get any, wrong idea. So personality means he has a form, vigra, He has got a desire, he has got emotions, he has got qualities, he has got relationships, he has got pastimes, Like, sometimes people become a devotee of Ram or Krishna, but they don't accept, they don't have a conscious knowledge that Krishna is actually doing something eternally. So if they don't really believe in Krishna being eternal, then are they really worshipping a personality? Because like one time I was taking one Panditji for my brother's marriage, and on the way I tried to see whether he is really devotee or not. So I asked him, so what do you think about Lord Ram? Because he was apparently a devotee of Lord Ram. So I asked him, so what do you think now? Where is Lord Ram? Where is he doing pastimes? And then he said, हमें क्या पता अभी कहाँ भगवान, हमने तो सुना है आत्मा परमात्मा में लीन हो जाती है ना. That then I understood this person is apparently Ram Bhakta, but internally he is a Mayavadi. He does not have faith in God's personality only. So many people worship Lord Ram, but they believe in Charles Darwin theory. So Charles Darwin theory means we have come from apes, but Lord Ram existed with the apes crores of years back. Actually, where is the correlation? That means they really don't believe in Lord Ram. Many Indians are actually just superficial bhaktas of Lord Ram. So if they have a proper conception, scientific conception of God, scientific personality, personal conception of God, then they will actually see that the Lord is eternally there. I am worshipping Him, I am praying to Him. They will not deal with the Lord's deity in a very impersonalistic way. Like in, when I go home, I see sometimes there are Ganeshji everywhere, Ito Ganesh everywhere, But when the cleaner comes, so he picks up the Ganeshji from his neck and then cleans and then puts him back. Imagine we are picked up from the neck, we'll not be happy, right? So if we truly believe in personality of some person, personality means he is having feelings, he has some emotions, he has some, he gets pleased, he gets displeased. So Prabhupada was very, very eager to see that the people capture this point, as he mentioned in the glorification of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also. Absolute ascension thou hast proved, impersonal calamity thou hast removed. So I would like to show something. Srila Prabhupada, apart from the 7 purposes of ISKCON, he actually wrote a very important essay called Constitution of Association, which was written a few days before the incorporation of ISKCON, where 7 purposes were listed. And in that, Prabhupada actually gives a more elaborate understanding of what he wanted. So there is an essay by Srila Bhakti Vigyan Goswami Maharaj which describes this essay, Constitution of Association. And in that, he is very beautifully bringing it out that probably it was that when the legal document had to be made, so the lawyers may have told that keep it brief. But Prabhupada, when he originally wrote the Constitution of Association, No. He told me to get this also. I got it. Someone has to. No, there's some problem, technical problem. Maybe I'll read it without the. So, to tell just a short background of it. So, in that, he has elaborated 14 purposes actually, rather than 7 purposes. And most of the devotees in ISKCON just know the 7 purposes. And Prabhupada has elaborated more. ठीक है, रहने दो, पढ़ाई करेंगे. Okay. So in that, Prabhupada elaborates on how the mission should be shaped in much more elaboration than what he has put it in 7 purposes. So it is a very important document which actually the leaders of ISKCON should always be studying, because that actually reconciles many of the concerns which sometimes ISKCON devotees may have, that whether this is part of what Prabhupada wanted or not. Many things Prabhupada has actually clarified there directly himself. So it's like a vision document, mission vision document. There you go. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So it's a 68-page document. I'm not going to read it, but I'm going to show you some parts of it. So these 14 items Prabhupada mentions here. जय श्री श्री राधा वृंदावन चंद्र की जय, श्री श्री गौनिताय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा की जय. Yeah. So I'm not going to read even the 14 items, but I'm going to take one of them which is connected to today's discussion on Adi Purush, plus at the same time helps us to appreciate the importance of Bhagavad Gita, which we are going to distribute in the next 1 month or 2 months. So Prabhupada writes, focus on spiritual culture of a living being to improve people's lifestyle and to create unity of the society in accordance with spiritual technologies, God-centered concept of life. And then he says, concept of Godhead as a basis to unite the whole human society, the universal theistic teaching of Bhagavad Gita. So Prabhupada is actually talking about unity. Today the world is going through a lot of disputes, wars, and even on the basis of religion. So when we talk about the personality of Godhead, as what I was just discussing, so oftentimes the personality itself causes dispute. But Prabhupada is talking very clearly, the theistic program given in the Bhagavad Gita is actually going to become the basis of unification. So here in the essay by Srila Bhakti-Vigyan Goswami Maharaj, he actually elaborates why the impersonalistic conception will never bring us unity, and the theistic conception as presented in the Bhagavad Gita will bring the unity. So the document is a little more technical, so I may not be able to give you all the discussion, but I will like to read a certain sections of it for your, to give you excitement. Then you can read the balance on your own. So this is his elaboration on the first one. Yeah, here. So here Prabhupada, he's quoting Prabhupada, he's saying that we can know from this fact that there is a sweet transcendental interrelation between all living entities, irrespective of not only caste, creed and color between man and man, but between man and beast, man and birds, man and reptiles, man and plants, etc. He's quoting first 14.4. This is Prabhupada actually. He's just quoting Prabhupada. The Bhagavad Gita can most scientifically raise the standard of life of sweet relation between one thing and another. And as such, the Gita Nagari such shall be the center for such supreme culture of knowledge. The Gita Nagari shall set the example that neither God nor the living being nor nature is in any way antagonistic towards one another, but that all of them exist in harmony as a complete whole unit. When Gita Nagari will attempt to harmonize such sweet relation between man and the world and the world and God, that means Prakriti, Purusha and Jiva. At such an auspicious time only, the United Nations' effort to establish peace in the world will be successful, or the dream of a casteless society all over the world will be realized in practice. There is no other practical solution of the scientific basis of universal brotherhood or universal religion without understanding this simple truth of the fatherhood of Godhead, motherhood of nature, and childhood of all living entities. So, Prabhupada puts in a very beautiful way. This Prabhupada actually has written another essay called Gita Nagari. In that he brings this point. So Prabhupada is saying that we cannot have universal brotherhood without the universal fatherhood. And father is a person. So father is a person. So he has to be acknowledged. And the motherhood of nature also has to be accepted. Further, actually he proves it, how Bhagavad Gita will make it happen. See here, he says, there is nothing in the teachings of Lord Chaitanya which is not intelligible by human reasonings or is against any religious feeling accepted by the civilized society of the world. Thus, Srila Prabhupada again emphasizes the non-sectarian scientific character of Lord Chaitanya's teachings. See, there are all religious traditions describe the greatness of God, His power and magnificence. The scene of Bhagavad Gita where Arjun contemplates His universal form is the culmination of the experience of understanding the greatness of God. However, Bhagavad Gita goes even further because immediately Arjun asks Krishna to show him the four-armed form and afterwards to give him back his ability to behold Krishna's sweet and beautiful human form, Madhure. Elevated stages implicitly include the lower ones. Therefore, the concept of God as an all-attractive personality in principle allows synthesizing and reconciling all other ideas of God. Going forward, he actually shares, based on the Panchopasana idea, there are 6 levels of conception of God. 1, 2, all these 6. And all these 6 are mentioned in Bhagavad Gita in different parts. And all the religions actually talk only of these 6 conceptions. And they are all reconciled and harmonized in Bhagavad Gita. So if someone has a religious conception in particular way, if he understands Bhagavad Gita as a scientific document rather than trying to understand it as a religious document, then he will understand his religious conception is coming on this point in the Bhagavad Gita. And then it goes further to see further. And then Maharaj is sharing there that everyone will not come to the topmost conception of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as like the Vrindavan Krishna, but they will understand that this is the hierarchy, how it is all reconciled in one document, Bhagavad Gita. So Prabhupada actually is saying, the paradox of this situation is that ISKCON is to provide a non-confessional and theistic worldview that describes personal nature of God. People tend to think that a specific form of God, attributes, name, qualities, would inevitably make him a part of a particular confession and a subject of the irreconcilable interfaith disputes. Someone made his well-known speech at the Congress of Religions in Chicago in 1893. After that, it has been considered in the West that only the recognition of the initial impersonality of the Absolute, his formlessness, can become a basis for the interfaith peace. However, it is a proven fact that numerous attempts of impersonal philosophers to create a certain universal religion and synthesize existing beliefs on the basis of their philosophy haven't been successful. On the contrary, all rational followers of the traditional religions reject syncretism, that means trying to put everything in one place, because they understand that it emasculates the essence of religion, real relation with the live God. So, all the religions have their own conception. Even within the Vedic context, there are different conceptions. But if people can understand the scientific thesis of the Bhagavad Gita, then they can actually see why, like there are Shaktas, there are Shaivites, there are Vaishnavas. And in the many other religions, they actually they speak negatively about Sanatana Dharma because it seems like talking about many gods, polytheism. And they say, like when they say Islam, so they talk about Allah. Allah means the greatest, and One of the main tenets of many religions is that we should believe only in one God, not in multiple gods. Many of the religions talk about that. But the Vedic text, as propounded in the Bhagavad Gita, are actually speaking the same thing. So when we appreciate the subject matter in a scientific manner, Prabhupada many times has built this subject that it is a science we are trying to discuss. It is the techniques of spirituality we are discussing. So Prabhupada, when he went to West, he was dealing with people with different religions, but he was seeing all of them from the point of view of that they are part and parcel of God, and they should learn how to live their religion better by understanding the techniques of spirituality. So Prabhupada uses that word, techniques of spirituality, in the purpose 1. Because when we can appreciate God in his true nature as a personal person, then we can actually have relation with him. Then we can give up our sense gratification because we experience rasa. Every jiva is looking for rasa. So the next conception which we'll understand about Adi Purusha is that he is the enjoyer, and enjoyer means he enjoys the rasas. So without this conception, a personal conception coming through, when the impersonal conception is more emphasized, people do not look forward to the spiritual domain of life because it's a very boring program. And thus they come back to an idea where they remain the center, and their religion also revolves around their being the center, and thus there will be dispute because they are always going to be on diversity on that. They will not like the impersonal conception. So I will not like to build this further there, but yeah. So if we can see in Prabhupada writes in the first canto, first 111 verse, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur specifically deals with the original and pure sex psychology, Adi Rasa, devoid of all mundane inebriety. The whole material creation is moving under the principle of sex life. In modern civilization, sex life is the focal point of all activities. Wherever one turns his face, he sees sex life predominant. Therefore, sex life is not unreal. Its reality is experienced in the spiritual world. The material sex life is but a perverted reflection of the original fact. The original fact is in the absolute truth, and thus the absolute truth cannot be impersonal. It is not possible to be impersonal and contain pure sex life. Consequently, the impersonalistic philosophers have given indirect impetus to the abominable mundane sex because they have overstressed the impersonality of the absolute truth, ultimate truth. Consequently, a man without information of the actual spiritual form of sex has accepted perverted material sex life as all in all. There is a distinction between sex life in the diseased mental condition and spiritual sex life. So, it is very important for us to establish the personality, because then only he can have relationships, then only he can have rasas, and then only the spiritual world is exciting to go for. So, the Adi Purusha word going forward is actually establishing also our servitude to be eternal. Because he is Adi, he is eternal. When we are offering prayers to him, we are eternal, he is eternal, and our relationship with him is eternal. So when I am saying I am servant of yours, you are Purusha, I am servant, I am Prakriti, that means I am eternally your servant. And that is where we want to live in. That's what Prahlad Maharaj is establishing here, that we are eternally your servant. I am not here for a short-term bargain for some material things. So oftentimes the Lord is conceived of as generator, operator, destroyer. He is only seen as creator, maintainer and destroyer. But that conception is only dealing with this material world. So Prabhupada actually, when he talks about absolute truth, he says that this is different from the idea of God that people carry. Prabhupada writes in Bhagavatam introduction, the conception of God and the conception of absolute truth are not on the same level. The Srimad Bhagavatam hits on the target of the absolute truth. The conception of God indicates the controller, whereas the conception of absolute truth indicates samam bonam, or the ultimate source of all energies. So when we hear from the Vaishnavas about the Supreme Lord, like when we hear about Lord Krishna, we actually don't see him now only as someone who is operating as Jagdish or a person who has actually made something here. But that is his role in this world. At the same time, he has an eternal program in the spiritual world where he is exchanging rasa. So, the three conceptions which are brought out by Lord Chaitanya's teachings, Parama Tattva, Sarva Shaktiman and Rasabdim. These are very, very, they are not very properly delineated in most of the other religions. Paramatattva to some degree, they do talk because he is the supreme. Sarva Shaktiman also, because he is the source of all the energy, so he can do anything. But without this last one, Akhila Rasamrita Murti, a person who exchanges rasas, and he is in fact he is the ocean of all the rasas. All our relationships can be fully satisfied in that one personality, in dealing with that personality. That conception is the epitome, and without that, the other ones only make the program of religion boring. So, thus, Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita actually bring universality of religion because it brings a scientific understanding of things, a ontological understanding of things, rather than just trying to say that believe in this God because that's where you were born, you know. And then not only philosophically establishing it in the sense of the tattva, but also establishing tattva that there is a rasa that the Lord is enjoying. And that rasa is the basis of rising above the mundane rasas of this world. And thus Adi Purusha word actually is very, very vital for us to capture in our heart. So there is a beautiful article on Chaitanya Charitamrita, which was shown by Radhesham Prabhu some years back. So I liked it, I wanted to share. So what is the different wrong or very limited conceptions of God that people carry sometimes? Nowadays you have to use the word God with great caution. It can conjure up all kinds of images. When I went to the West, actually there are many churches. However, many churches are simply, it is not attracting the people. The masses are not wanting to believe in God also. When I was standing on the book table, they said, "Are you spiritual or are you religious?" No? They want spirituality without religiosity. That means don't believe in some customs, some rituals, because many of the people who were the priestly class, they've exploited. Like in India also, the Brahmanical class is exploited. So when the people become the monopolizing people on who is going to tell about God, then actually people get repelled from the concept of God itself. So some think of God as a strict and unforgiving judge, the old man who sits on a grand throne and hurls down thunderbolts every time someone deviates. So it's a fear conception which is very, very, one person feels better be merciful with each other rather than believing in such a God who is so unforgiving. Others consider him like a crutch for the weak, an imaginary being who brings peace, hope and comfort, but has little to do with objective reality. That means, weak people take shelter. As Karl Marx said, that religion is the opium of the masses. So those who don't want to do work, they will take shelter of God. Some think of God as a mythological tool of the power-hungry elite, used to keep the masses in line and maintain the status quo. That means, Bhagwan se daro, warna kuch ho jayega. So mythological tool. It's a mythological tool. It is not reality. And for many, God is simply a cosmic order supplier, a convenient port of call in times of need and want. जब कोई और नहीं दे सकता तो भगवान को कॉल लगाने का, हरि बोल, please help me. So all these conceptions are much, much, much subordinate to what the Vedic text brings out. The extraordinary revelation is not only that God exists, but He is bursting with color, character and bliss. God is 𝗍𝗿𝗃. He is a very embodiment of affectionate relationships, loving relish and transcendental sweetness. Here we see in our Prahlad Maharaj how Narsingh Dev is getting purchased by the loving dealings of Prahlad Maharaj. So this kind of conception is far off. People only know of God as a thunderbolt man and all, some judge. Actually, it's a very boring life. Even if we are made God for eternal time and we are given only a judge role, isko ye dand, usko wo dand, it's such a boring program. Who would like to be such a God? So God will be bored with Godhood. So God is not doing that. We don't want to do that. Why should God enjoy like that? So God is actually a personality who relishes a life by love. So he quotes 𝗦𝗍𝗍. 𝗦𝗍𝗍 actually sometimes said that God is dead. So I also thought that God is dead. He has said that means he does not believe in God. But he has another statement to say, I would only believe in a God that knows how to dance. That means the boring conceptions of God which were given by so many other religious propagandas is not exciting to 𝗦𝗍𝗍. He said, what is the use of such a God? God is not doing any good work. He is simply showering thunderbolts and all. Such a God is dead God only. So actual God is one who dances. Unfortunately, he did not come across the HareKrishna fellows. Had he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees, both Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna both are dancing gods. So he wanted a dancing God. If he had seen the deity darshan of the Lord, we are playing. Our God is so beautiful. Actually, our God is an amazing personality. First of all, among all the colors, he has a blue color. Now there are blacks, there are whites, there are browns. But have you seen any blue person? So he has a bluish color. He wears a peacock feather. Even on the battlefield, he is in dhoti. And he's not like in the army dress or something. And he's a loving personality. He's playing among all the instruments. He has taken the simplest one. Simplest means this. It's very saral. The basuri has nothing except the bamboo. So he's a very simple personality. And he does not even wear sometimes shoes to be with the cows. And he's herding cows among all the things to be done by God. He has no work to do. He's, herding cows only, And not only that, he sits and he's stealing butter. God is stealing butter. So the conception of God, it's like completely out of the box. The jiva has got some idea that he may be doing a lot of management or he is doing judgments or nothing. He is just free from all that. That is just his energy is doing. He is doing something so sweet. And such a lovable God, if you come across, that will be a great excitement actually. So Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, eternally resides in the spiritual world. That realm is known as Vaikuntha, the place of no anxiety, the place where every step is a dance, every word is a song, where all relationships are infused with selfless love. In that abode, the spontaneous and natural relationships with Krishna transcend ritual, formality and reverence, fully satisfying the heart's yearning. Iti driksvalilabhi ananda kunde swaghosham nimajjantam akhyapayantam tadiyeshi tagneshu bhaktaijitattvam. So that is the principle. Maybe 𝗦𝗍𝗍 was searching for Krishna, the enchanting flute player who dances with cowherd maidens in the moonlight. Maybe we all are. Or George Harrison said, everyone is looking for Krishna. Some don't realize that they are, but they are. So when they are searching for Krishna, they land up with some Superman, Batman and all that. They should know Lion Man, Narsinga, So they go to fictitious characters, but it's a personality. So Bhagavad Gita is the foundational document which establishes the philosophical truth. Srimad Bhagavatam helps to know the character of the Lord. And Chaitanya Charitamrita talks the mind of the Lord. Such fine-tuned literatures are discussed in the Vedic connection, Vedic spectrum. So it is of great value that we distribute Bhagavad Gita to help people rise above the mess that they are in, because by hearing Bhagavad Gita, they will actually rise to a conscious, living, dynamic, reciprocating God, and then they can actually rise above. Like people, when I tell that you should offer bhoga, so my mother says, "To agar nahi bhoga offer karenge to paap lagega kya?" So they're just caught up in papa punya. I said, no, it's love. It's love. Lord is giving something, so we should love Him. So usually people are just caught up in this, like Kumbh Ka Mela, 45 crore people went from India because they're just washing their papa. It's such a boring program, You chant Hare Krishna here, you can get off from the papa program. And in fact, you don't chant Hare Krishna for papa removal. So actually the conception of God has been made very boring for the people. And I could see when I went to the West, you present this Godhead in the true light as Prabhupada presented, and the whole world is waiting for us actually. The whole world is waiting. Many of the Western boys and girls who I met, They said, now I am getting all the answers which I was looking for. So they are needing the philosophy as presented by Prabhupada as it is. And if they hear the philosophy, their hearts are open. They are doing kirtans. We took them to New Vrindavan. After I came back, they took them to New Vrindavan. And they wanted to have the deities of the Lord. The Mataji wanted to wear gopi dress to dance for Krishna. Actually, devotional service is exciting. Not only the personality of God is exciting, even our process is very exciting. Our process is full of colors. Every day is a festival in NVCC, right? Otherwise, had I been given a very boring idea that just you have to maybe go to Himalayas and do meditation, I don't think so I would have joined the program. So our program is very, very exciting, and Prabhupada made it completely practical. The highest thing, love of Godhead in the Vrindavan Dham, has been made so practical for the conditioned soul who is the lowest of the lowest. He's hippie. He's not wearing clothes also. But he can take Krishna consciousness and start wearing clothes and then give up the cloth of bodily concept of life, actually. Actually, what an exciting program Prabhupada gave. I'll just end with one. So one time, 𝗔𝗁𝗁 Radhanath Maharaj was giving a lecture, and he was telling that they would go to rainbow gathering. So at rainbow gathering, people come without any clothes. That's their special way of working. And thousands of hippies come. So they wanted to invite them to New Vrindavan at the last day. So one Gadadhar Swami Maharaj and Srila Radhanath Maharaj, they were addressing the hippies they wanted to do kirtan and invite them to New Vrindavan. So thousands of hippies came and they were completely without clothes. And Gadadhar Swami Maharaj announced that so we invite all of you to New Vrindavan. And then one hippie in very loud voice said, so do we have to wear clothes to come to New Vrindavan? Or can we come like this? So now Maharaj was like, what to do? And he was thinking Maharaj will answer, Radhanath Maharaj. And Radhanath Maharaj said, no, you only answer. And then he prayed, what should I say? Then he said, actually Krishna wants us to give up the false ego, which is the last cloth over the Lord, last cloth over the soul. We should dance in the full glory of the soul. So not only you have to give up the cloth, you have to give up this bodily cloth also. But to begin removing the bodily cloth, we have to first wear the cloth. So you come to New Vrindavan wearing the cloth, and then eventually you will give up the ahankar, which is actually causing us to separate ourselves from God. I'm paraphrasing, he spoke it in a very much more beautiful way. And people actually came, hundreds of hippies came wearing clothes to Vrindavan. So our program of Krishna consciousness is a very exciting one. And if we present God as a dancing God, as a sweet personality, then there is so much, the world is waiting for this conception. They have got bored with the God conception which is being propagated today. And they don't have any hope in materialism either. The boys and girls who are coming to my program, just on the other corner, there is all men and women boozing, womanizing, everything going on just in this. I am doing on Friday East program, and West program would happen on Wednesday. But the Western boys and girls who were coming for Wednesday program, they came to East program also. They said, we want to have prasadam with you. We don't want to go with them. Materialism has lost hope. And all this impersonalism has lost hope. Only thing is personalistic conception of God. That alone is the solution for the world. So we have to help them with this vision that Srila Prabhupada kindly gave us all. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ji ki jai. Okay, one. But they have to have Damodar Ashtakam. No, I am not boss. The boss has told 9:10. So maybe we can meet person. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले विराजमानम्। यशोदाभियोलोकलादवमानं परामृष्टं मात्यन्ततो द्रुतगोप्या। नेत्रयुग्मं मृजन्तं कराम्बोजयुग्मेन सातङ्कनेत्रम्। मोहश्वासकम्पात्रिरेखाकङ्कण्ठ स्थितग्रैवदामोदरं भक्तिपथम्। इति दृक्स्वलीलाभि आनन्दकुण्डे सघोषं निमज्जन्तम् आख्यापयन्तम्। तदीयेषितग्नेषु भक्तैचितत्वं पुनः प्रेमतस्तं सतावृति वन्दे। वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षं वदिं वा न चान्यं वृणेऽहं वरेशदपीह। इदं ते वपुर्नाथ गोपालबालं सदा मे मनस्य विरास्तं किमन्यम्। इदं ते मुखाम्भोजम् अत्यन्तनीलै वृतं कुण्डलै स्निग्धरक्त च गोप्या। मोहश्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्तधरं मे मनस्या विरास्तामालं लक्षलाभै। नमो देव दामोदर अनंत विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजालब्धिमग्नम्। कृपा दृष्टिवृष्टाति दिनं बतानु गृहाणे क्षमामाज्ञा हे दक्षिदिशा। कुबेरात्मजौ बद्धमूर्त्यैव यद्वत् त्वया मोचितौ भक्तिभाजकृतौ च। तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स कामे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मे दामोदरेह। नमस्ते स्तुदाम्ने स्फुरतिदीप्ताम्ने त्वदीयोदराय विश्वसधाम्ने। नमो राधिकायै त्वदीया प्रियायै नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम्। नमो राधिकायै त्वदीया प्रियायै नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम्। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर राधे। जय राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधे। जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा शिल प्रभुपदा। श्री दामोदर अष्टकम की जय।